Welcome, welcome to session number 1, Marketing Roadmap Intensive, or otherwise known as MRI. I'm going to mute everybody for a moment. Okay. Here we are. Welcome aboard. I just want to ask some quick questions before we get started. And you know, if it's a yay, put up your thumb. If it's, like this, okay? So the first question I have is the GROW meter, or the business growth checklist, right? So the growth checklist, there were 3 levels. Does everybody know which stage of business growth they're at? So I just need either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, you got a ballpark, Amy? Ballpark, okay. Yeah, Maggie says yes. Okay, because that gives you what you need to focus on, right? There's that list of things. If you've got like 99% of them done, then you can move on to the next list. But if you haven't got 99% of them done, then get them done. Hey, Sandy, welcome aboard. You finally found it. So I'm just going to, before I forget, Sandy and Jacqueline, who I don't see here yet, but you have not joined the Facebook group, or I haven't seen your application, and that's where I posted the updates. So, okay, just to let you know. Okay, so the question is on the GROW meter, the business growth checklist. It seems like everybody knows where they are. Sandy, yes? Sandy, are you there? Oh, maybe she's frozen. Okay.
Diane?
Yeah.
No,
I forgot to unmute myself.
Okay. Yes, Monique?
Can you see me at all?
No.
Okay, how do I change that?
There should be a button that looks like a sort of a video camera.
Well, the problem is that I'm on my phone, so it's hard to,
You just touch the screen and
yeah.
it should show up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Voila! Okay.
Hey, I'm a technology expert now. So my thumb is down for where I have no idea where my marketing stage growth is at. I have no clue.
Okay, so we'll talk about that on Thursday. Okay.
Okay. Yep. I'll mute myself. I know how now.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Now, I just want to be clear that in this program, we are not going to talk about your core offer, okay, or your signature program, or that thing that you do, that one thing that you do, okay? However, we could talk about it in your hour of time with me, okay? So it's not going to be part of what we're doing here. Is everybody clear on that? Good. Okay. All right. So, so I spoke to Ron. Kirsten, I just want to, sort of the same conversation I had with Ron. You have 2 businesses, as Ron does. For the purposes of this exercise and this program, I'd like you to pick one to focus on. We can't be talking about 2 things when we go out and talk, because people go, what do you do? I don't know. Okay? So I'd like you to pick one of those businesses.
Although I just have put out a new workshop that combines those 2 businesses, learning German through art.
Okay, well, who knew? Okay, so see how that goes, and if that is popular, that might be your direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right, so as we're working on our, I'm going to call it a Twitter pitch, the explanation of what we do, for the time being, pick one, okay, Kirsten? Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about your DNA, your distinct natural advantage. You've all got this document. How many of you have finished it? Thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to, Ron was a really good student. Everybody give Ron a high five. He's a good little boy. He sent me his homework. So he actually sent me a copy of his DNA. So Ron, if you don't mind, I'm going to use you as the example. Okay, awesome. Your DNA, your distinctive natural advantage. What we're going to talk about is what makes you unique. And it's a whole combination of things. For some of you who have worked with me before, we've done this exercise, you know, Mira, you've done this exercise with me. And it's really about pulling out of you what makes you unique. A lot of the stuff comes from things that you have learned over your lifetime, right? So that was one of the L's. One of the others is that, so you've learned, things that you've learned, your acquired mastery, things that you have learned, things that you have lived. So, you know, some of us are older than others, and those of us older ones have lived more, so therefore we have more experiences to count on. And what you have loved. So sometimes people just have a freaking passion for this one thing. And that is what sort of drives them forward. When it comes to what you have learned, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a certification, but it could be, right? It could be a number of certifications. And then we have the part about your demonstrated results. Oh no, sorry, I'm going to go with your strengths, because that was next in the workbook. So I would highly recommend that you click on the aptitude test that's there. Read it carefully, because as you go down through it, some places I think there's a green button and it says start here, and it's really an advertisement. You need to go scroll down and it says take your test here or something, and I believe it's a blue button. So, yeah, but it will give you a printout of your strengths. Now, Ron and I did this 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So, Ron, just, you know, your top strength, for instance, was faith. Now, I also know that faith for you, for some people, faith would not mean religion necessarily. It might be faith in the way things are going. It might mean confidence in the world. But if I'm not mistaken, faith for you, there's a large religious connotation. Okay, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
More spiritual than religious.
Okay, there. Sorry, that's a good word. Yes, thank you. Yeah, spiritual. And his second one was risk taking. The second strength that came up, and I went, Ron? But it says, learn to recognize, act on, and leverage risks based on your own abilities. So Ron is obviously confident in his abilities and in his business of buying and selling businesses and helping other people do that he's confident in that. It says, look at risks that are uncomfortable and find ways to overcome them. So it's all in the interpretation. So it doesn't mean that he's a gambler when it says he's a risk taker. Far from it. Okay? So look at, and number 3 for him was integrity. And, you know, I would say that's really, and again, read what it says about the interpretation. Okay? Now, the other very interesting thing for you to do is go to the bottom and find out what your number 1 weakness would be. And I don't say that so that you want to improve it. I just look at it so that you're aware of it. Okay. So interesting. Ron said balance was his number one weakness. So in balance, clutter will greatly annoy you. So do you have lots of clutter, or does clutter annoy you?
Yeah, so I tend to let things pile up. Oh, I'm going to do that one day. And then one day I will do, like, I can't focus on anything until this is all put away. All of this is straightened away. Like, it distracts me.
Yeah.
And so right. And the other part of that, if you read it, like, if somebody if I'm in the middle of something, it could be extremely important. If somebody says, "Oh, Ron, I'll say, yeah, okay. And really it's not the appropriate time, or no, I should just concentrate on the task at hand and then deal with that. I don't know, the email, the phone call, the whatever, the person at the door, right?
Yeah. 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 Don't allow interruptions to run you wild. So strengths are really important, and it's really important to recognize your own strengths. There are several other things that you can look at. One of the books that I really love, and I mentioned it here, is How the World Sees You. And it's written by a woman by the name of Sally Hogshead. Can you imagine going through school with a name like that? So the story is, when she developed her business and her brand, she said, well, there's only one visual, a hog's head, right? Like a pig. And so anyway, that's hers. But I really loved her book because, again, at the back of the book, if you buy the book, there is a code to take the quiz. And it's not about, yes, it is about you, but it's how people see you. And it was an eye-opener for me, a real and truly eye-opener. What page am I looking at? Page 8. How to talk about your business so clients will hire you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Demonstrated results. This is a page that people have trouble with. So I want to spend a little time on this. What tangible results do you get with your clients? So one column is writing out the tangible result. The middle column, you ask, so that means, and you fill it in. And then you go a little deeper and you say, and that means. So for instance, here's an example. You might get your clients more free time. So that means what? Well, they have more free time with their family. And that means what? Their relationships with their kids are better. I'm just, pulling out of my head, right? It's not, the problem is in our businesses, we too often talk about the problems that are surface level problems. Mira's going to laugh. And we need to get to the root problem. Okay. So for instance, in marketing, it's taken me a while to figure this out, but the problem that people have, basically the root problem, is they can't explain how to answer that age-old question. So what do you do? Without bumbling, without using words that are this long, without, making people's eyes glaze over. They can't say it succinctly, and with enough curiosity that people go, oh, how do you do that? Okay. So that's the root problem of most people's marketing problems. Okay. So the tangible result, make more money. Well, how much more money? So let's say it's $5K a month. Well, so that means what? So that they can contribute to family finances, so they can add to their RRSPs. And again, you go a little deeper, and that means they can travel more. That means they can send their kids to private school. That means they can send their kids to hockey camp. That's not happening, but whatever. See what I mean? You have to go deeper. So keep asking yourself, so that means. And those 3 words are really important throughout all of your marketing. All of your marketing. So very often I'll see a website and it'll say, oh, get calm, or, whatever. Well, so what? Why do I need to get calm? So if I'll use another example. So I have a health coach who is a client of mine, and most of her work has been hands-on. So now she's sort of moving to more online, and what can she do? Her big thing is about helping people de-stress and reduce their levels of anxiety. Her ideal customer is a business owner. So a business owner is stressed right now, right? A lot of business owners are stressed. So she's going to teach them how to do a very particular technique, which is called EFT, but that doesn't really matter. But if she is not connecting the dots between the de-stressing and what that means for the business owner, she's not going to sell any. Okay? So if a business owner is stressed, what can they not do? They're not thinking creatively. They're not thinking. They're frozen. They're not taking action. So she has to connect the dots between them. And asking those words, so that means, will help her get those answers. Okay? Does that make sense? Does everybody understand? Okay, if you don't understand, raise your hand. Okay, thumbs up. Good. So this is really important. You need to do this exercise here. Okay? Tangible results. All right, let's talk about effortless talents. Effortless talents is that thing that you do so easily that people look at you and go, huh, how'd you make that so easy? Right? And people, they're astounded at it. Okay? So I want to do a little exercise. I'd like everybody to think of one person that they admire. One person that you admire. Could be living, dead, famous, not famous. One person you admire. So why don't you type in the chat the name of the person you admire? I want to get you interactive here. One person you admire. Dr. Seuss. Cool. Okay. Now I want you to think of 3 qualities, and these can be just words, 3 qualities that this person has that you admire. So it might mean they're persistent, they're giving, I don't know, think of 3 things. Okay, so
Diane?
Yes.
Okay, can you fix this? I've lost the thing. I don't know how to fix it. Like it's gone. I don't know.
Okay, so just touch your screen again.
Yeah.
Touch your screen and you'll find that little video button.
No, it's not there. Oh gosh. Your video was stopped. Your video was stopped.
hold on. Let's see if I. Nope. Does that help? Oops, you got it? There you are. Okay. Yeah, you're muted now. Okay. You're muted now, Monique. Okay, so let's look at these things. So Amy's here. Confident, creative, and caring. I don't know who she, oh, Dr. Seuss. Okay. Has everybody added something? Okay, personal, yep, good.
Oh, finally, okay. Okay, I don't know how to write this.
Okay, it's all right. It's okay. I'm just going to mute yourself again. Here's the thing. You've all saw 3 qualities in this person that you admire. You cannot see in others what you do not possess yourself. You cannot see in others what you do not possess yourself. So Amy wrote confident, creative, and caring. My guess is that Amy is very confident, she's creative, and she's caring. So your effortless talent very often is something you cannot see yourself. And other people may have to pull it out of you. Okay? And that's what I do a lot with people. Okay? So your effortless talent, unless somebody has said to you, oh, like I said, you make that look so easy. How do you do that? Has anybody ever been told something like that? Put it in the chat if you have. Cool. Kirsten, what did they say? Yeah, so write what they said. You can say, yes, they told me, blah, blah, blah. Creativity, I'm a good host. Okay, good host. So if you're a good host, what would that, you don't have to answer that, Amy. If you're a good host, what do you think that means would be probably one of your superpowers? Probably you're good at relationships, you're good at making people feel at ease, right? Cool. All right. Let's look at your DNA style, page 11. So you've noticed here that I talk about 4 different themes of DNA style. And these are just, it's just like anything when you categorize people, you're mostly something, but you're also some of something else. You're never just all of one thing. So, and I created these to have C words. So I created connector, catalyst, counselor, and creator. And again, who has not done this exercise? Hands up.
I don't think I have, no.
Okay. So I'm not going to hold up the others for you to do this, but you can do it later. I'm going to run through Ron's, okay, as an example. So the question, what best describes your perfect day in the life of your business? And he wrote number 3. I love spending my day. And for me, the key word was inspiring and motivating others with my message. Inspiring and motivating. So that's what I clued in on. Number 2, I know I'm making an impact with my work when my clients say, and he ticked number 1, I'm inspired, motivated, and excited to get started. See a theme? My dream clients come to me. He picks number 2. Inspire them with new innovative ideas and opportunities. Number 4, you'd love it if others thought you were the next, well, we'll have to put a bow tie on. Martha Beck, you want to be known Want to be known as the go-to person to facilitate deep transformation in people's lives. Facilitate deep transformation. Number 5, when I think of my dream business, my vision includes, he picked number 2, a personal brand that allows me to reach and serve thousands. Number 6, I adore working with dream clients who trust that my experience, talent, and skills will bring their dream to life. And last but not least, if you were to host a live event, it would be, he picked number 3, a live training where you walk students through your signature process. So if I go to page 14, talks about a summary of these different ones. And because of the way he picked mostly about inspiring and motivating people, I would classify him predominantly as a catalyst. So the catalyst loves to share their message, be the spokesperson, and to inspire others. Okay, there's that word, inspire. Now, I know this to be true of Ron. He holds natural charisma and effortlessly attracts. He's often held leadership positions in the presence. He has a magnetic presence. Although he is not a cheerleader, he often offers out-of-the-box ideas. Now, you know, if you're working to help people buy businesses and sell businesses, you have to get creative and come up sometimes with very out-of-the-box ideas. And so I felt that this really did fit Ron quite well. Now, he has his strengths. He has presence. He has leadership. He has big ideas. I mean, to have 2 businesses going at once, that's pretty good. That's big ideas. Ron also, he's been a speaker. He's been a speaker on stage. Sorry, I'm just grasping for something here I should have had. Whoops. Huh. Of course. Of course. Oh well. But I'm going to ask Ron, because each one of these comes with struggles. So do you struggle with too many ideas?
Yes, and it gets me in trouble every time. It you know, and also, you know, when we were talking about my strengths and my weaknesses, my kryptonite is if somebody says, "Oh, Ron, can you give us a hand with this project? Oh, Ron, can you?" And it's like, "Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay." And it's like, I don't have the time, right? But yeah. I just hate to say no to people. So right. Don't take advantage of me, whoever heard that. No, I'm not helping you. None of you. Don't ask.
Yeah, and so when we have too many ideas, we're very often suffer from what I call the BSOS, bright shiny object syndrome, and it's like a squirrel. Like
squirrel. Yes.
So here's the thing when you suffer from squirrel, and I know that entrepreneurs are very creative people. And so as creators, we do get a lot of good ideas. And so we go, oh, I could go off in this direction. Oh, I could go off in this direction. The best thing that you can do is then go and find a creative outlet for your creativity. So you go and take a German course. You go and cook. You go and go for a walk. You go and garden. You go and learn how to paint. You do something other than frick around with your business. Okay, because that's what gets people in trouble. Okay, if you have started something that is starting to work, and then you just get this bright shiny object and you go, oh, I'll go over there. You go, guess what? I'm being a squirrel. Okay, consistency is a struggle that a lot of entrepreneurs have, and that's easy to, it can be consistency in a lot of different things. But I want more to talk about a profit plan and marketing. So a profit plan is, how are you going to make money? So this one particularly says, build large platforms and gather audiences around one idea. Focus energy on engaging through storytelling. Does that sound familiar, Ron? Ron is an amazing storyteller. No, you are. And marketing. If attraction is your strong suit, speaking, interviewing, networking, live stream, video should be what you are doing all day, every day. And because of social distancing, the more that you can get on Facebook Live or video, the better. Okay. So,
if I had, like, my biggest fear is to start, but I think if I had somebody to, like, get me started on the first one, I would probably, to do like Facebook Live or something, I would probably be good to go.
okay. So
Maggie, weren't you saying that you did something? Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie's been on Facebook Live for a while. Cheryl, have you done Facebook Live? Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
So here's a challenge for next week. Take your phone and you do a Facebook Live and you post it to the group. So, do you need somebody to walk you through how to do it?
No, I can probably figure it out. And if I can't, definitely I'll contact somebody. But I can do that to the group. That doesn't sound very threatening.
There you go. So anybody else who has not done a Facebook Live and who would like to test it, you do it to the group, okay? That is the best way to practice. And after you've done 2 or 3, you go, oh, I could do that. It could be that you're going out for a walk and you do a Facebook Live. Doesn't have to be anything complicated, okay? And I'm sure you have children or grandchildren who could point out which button to push. That I know for sure. And Ron, did you do your, sorry, I'm a little tired tonight. Did you do your content style? Did you do the quiz? It's not in here. Remember, I talked about going to M. Shannon Hernandez.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll get you that link again and I'll post it. Because I think speaking would be your preferred content style. Okay.
Okay.
So did everybody do that or not? Has everybody done that quiz? How many of you were live people? Okay, you were live. So that means Facebook Live, videos, all that type of thing. How many were audio? Anybody audio? Visual, I'm guessing that would, Kirsten, visual? Yeah. Mira, you were visual? No? Yes, you're muted. I can't hear you.
That's the one that says like live in person,
Yeah.
My content style. Yeah, it's a live in person.
Yeah, live. So you should be doing Facebook Lives as well.
Oh, God.
It seems a little daunting to start, but those of you who have tried it and moved on, right? It's not that bad, right? Cheryl, what do you think? Yeah.
There we go. For me, it just affirmed basically what I already knew, but didn't really consciously think of it, because I have done so many Facebook Lives. I've done so many presentations, right? That again, I just because I don't get overly nervous about it. It's one of those things that people are like, how do you do that? Right? It's like, well, you just hit go live and then you see 3, 2, 1 and make sure you're smiling, because otherwise you look ridiculous if you don't pose for it first. Just a word to the wise, Ron. Pose in a smile and just hold it and then start to talk.
Yeah, I will post the link again. I have to go and look it up, but I will post it in the Facebook group, just to let you know. Okay, so that just gives you a bit of an overview of your entrepreneurial style and your DNA, what makes you a little different from some other people. Page 17, scaling. Ron, this is more for you than anybody else here. Revenue streams, traffic, sales, operations. If you have a team and ready to scale, it's important to focus on your strength, your superpower. So what is your superpower? So for instance, Ron and I are in a mastermind together with somebody else. And you know, Robert's strength is sales, and that's where he should just like keep selling, right? So he had to bring in other people. So he hired a digital marketer to drive traffic to his website. He has an assistant for operations. He only has really one revenue stream. I mean, pretty much. So you've got to know, but that's only for those of you who are ready to scale, okay? The rest of us, we've got to do everything. Okay. Okay, questions so far?
Yeah, Monique.
Yep. Go ahead.
Monique? Okay. What is a digital marketer compared to a web host person or a website designer or whatever they're called? I don't know what all these terms are, like what their titles mean.
So a digital marketer is somebody who, through various means, will drive traffic to your website. So it could be through SEO, it could be through Google Ads, it could be through a number of ads, it could be Facebook ads, it could be a number of things. For most of you here, that is not something you need to worry about. Amy, you know, you work for corporate, they might do that, but it's not something you would do.
But if no one is going to your website because it's not SEO'd and you have no traffic, like your website has been, you know, no inquiries for a year and it just sits there, nobody knows to go to it because no one can find it on Google, so, then don't you need...
Okay, so there are other ways that we're going to talk about here about driving traffic that doesn't cost you money.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Questions?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I have another one.
Yep.
Facebook Live. What the heck do you talk about? You know, like who's gonna want to watch me walk my dog? Like I don't have a dog, but like who's interested in that, or why would they want to watch you do that? I don't understand that.
All right. So for instance, I'll give you an example. On my personal page last year, I every morning would go out for a walk with my dog, 6:30ish, about 7 o'clock, I would post a Facebook Live. Because it was so early in the morning and I was in my grubbies, I did a Facebook Live, but I had the camera pointing out somewhere. And I would, while I'm walking, I just let my mind wander, and either I would come up with, I never thought of that before, or what was the word of the day or something that I saw that inspired me. And I had lots and lots and lots of people following. It wasn't about me. It was about, oh, have you ever thought of this? And I would ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one thing. When you were doing Facebook Lives, and we're going to talk about this, this is all about content. You have to know the problem that your clients struggle with. You have to know those problems. And you talk about those problems. So, for instance, if you have, so you help people navigate the disability tax credit system. So there are lots of issues that come up. You could talk, I'm sure that you have all this knowledge in your head, but you just need to get it down on, number one, paper. And so typically I suggest to people, there are 12 months of the year, pick 12 topics and start there. That gives you a place to start. You have at least 12 topics in your head.
Oh, yeah.
And then you take each topic and you break it down into subtopics. And you go, oh, well, let's say they're struggling to, the forms are complicated, let's say. That's one of the things they struggle with, right? Correct? So, you know, you could say, I totally understand. I know this because I've had to navigate this for my family, et cetera, et cetera. I get how frustrating it can be. But you know what? When you have somebody by your side walking you through this, it makes it so much easier. That's what I do for my clients. It could be, that's it. That's all you talk about.
How long should one of these things be? Should it be like 1 minute, 30 seconds, 3 minutes?
So there are various, when we're talking about Facebook Lives, there are various thoughts on it. Facebook Live is one of the ways that Facebook rewards you for and gives you more reach. If you get engagement on that Facebook Live, like somebody asks you a question, gives you a heart, whatever, the more of that you get, the more Facebook extends the algorithm, shall you say, and the bigger your reach. When it started out, people were saying Facebook Live should be like 3 to 5 minutes. It depends, I think, really on who your audience is, personally, because people also do Facebook Lives like webinar form. And you could be on Facebook Live for like an hour, but they have to know that that's what's coming, right? So I think 3 to 5 minutes, you'd be surprised, Ron. 3 to 5 minutes goes by like that. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, Jacqueline was here. She's here somewhere, I think. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys know that you have homework to do, guys. You have homework to do. And your homework is to finish up this part that we've done so far, if you haven't done that already. If you haven't already joined the Facebook group, so I'm calling Jacqueline out again on that. I think you're the last one. I think Sandy joined already. Yes, you're here happily, good. If you haven't booked your marketing diagnosis yet with me, do so, times are filling up. And here's your very specific homework on top of that homework. You need to take a piece of paper and write out 3 distinct problems that your client has that is really and dig down. What is the root problem? What is causing them not to get the results they want? So you might have to brainstorm 10 or 15 of them to come up with the top 3. If we did the exercise before, do we use the one we used before? So unmute yourself. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Mira.
The distinct national advantage, because I saw that before and I have it here.
Right, yeah, no, you're way ahead.
So
You're good.
So I just keep that.
Yeah.
And my second question is like in my case, I'm going from, hands-on business to pivoting to something else.
Yep. So focus on the pivot.
Right.
Okay. So you may have to go back through some of this and go, okay, what is the pivot, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I know what it is, but it's just coming up with the core message again. It makes sense.
Yeah, we're going to work on the core message, the real meat of it, next Thursday night. Okay, but you need to know the problem that you solve. So I want you to brainstorm a list and pick out one. Yeah, you're all looking at me like, one problem? Yeah. You're only solving one problem. The second thing that you need to figure out is, what is your plan to help them? And I don't mean, oh, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. The plan. So for instance, Ron's plan in order to sell the business, let me just think. Let's say you're selling a business. So the plan is, you have in your head, Ron, a plan. 7-step plan, a 10-step framework, whatever. You all have a plan in your head of how you go about this, okay? So your plan will probably be the thing that one of the things that distinguishes you from other people in your business that do the same work. Right? So I might say I have I walk you through a 7-step marketing funnel, or I have a 7-step proven framework, right? That is the plan. Okay, so you've got your problem, the plan. Now you have 3 results that you get for your clients. 3 results. Is the problem, so here's a question for Maggie. Is the problem as they state it or as I know they have it? Okay. It is the problem that you know they have, but said in their words. No, the problem you know they have, but said so that they nod their head. Okay, I'll explain what I mean. So I could say, most business owners are struggling with their marketing because they don't have a clear message. They don't have a clear message. And some people would say, well, what does she mean by a clear message? But if I say most business owners are struggling with their marketing because they struggle to answer the question, so what do you do? And I can stand up in front of a group of hundreds of people and I'll see half or 3/4 of them nodding their head. Okay? Right? So I've said it in such a way that you understand. It's not said in my language, it's said in your language. And Maggie's still scratching her head. From the client point of view, right. No, you're going to, yes, actually, I'm going to ask you to post this in the Facebook group. Okay? So post this in the Facebook group. See if you can come up with your number one problem you're going to solve. Okay? Your plan and 3 results. And these should be, I'm going back to the tangible results that we have here. I'm not saying that, oh, you feel more enlightened or more empowered or, you know, that's airy-fairy. Okay. So you're going to post that in the Facebook group.
Oh,
Yes?
do you mean like a end result or different results?
No.
Like,
What is the end result?
but my end result is basically always the same end result.
Well, they get money, but what does that money give them?
Well, it depends on what they want to do with it. They
No.
can do whatever they.
No. They get more money so that they can what? Live a better life, so they can take care of their child. What?
Right.
It's their aspirational. What is it that they want out of life?
Right.
So that is, you know, the result is you get them more money. So that means what? So that means what?
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm. Okay.
My students usually have small problems, so the plan would consist of small actions. Okay. So, so Kirsten, let's unmute yourself and let's talk about the problems that your clients have.
Okay, so I'm getting into the language side of my business. So problems that they don't know how to learn. So they don't know their learning style. They have the wrong expectations, or they don't even know what they want at all, why they learn the language.
They don't know why. Sorry.
So they don't know how to learn, so their learning style. They don't have the wrong expectation of how much work they have to put in to learn the language, or they don't even know why they learn the language. There's no motivation.
Well, I'm guessing they wouldn't pay you to learn if they didn't have motivation.
You're surprised.
Oh, okay. Because people don't usually part with their money unless they're solving a problem. So did somebody drag them there?
No, sometimes they just think it's interesting, and then after a couple of classes, they just drop out.
Ah, okay. So they think it's going to be easy. Okay. Wrong expectations.
Yeah. I had a father-daughter couple once. They dropped out after 2 classes because they figured they wanted to go to Germany on vacation, but they didn't want to do any homework or do any things on their part to learn the language.
Okay. Would any of their problems be that they don't have time to learn the language?
Well, you always have time. It's what kind of priority you make, right? If you sign up for something and you don't want to make it a priority, well, don't sign up because you won't do the work.
Right. And I mean, you know, I think the completion rate for online programs is something like 20%. So 20% of the people that actually buy online programs actually complete the work. So that's not really their problem. I mean, that is their problem, but what is keeping them from learning German?
Well, I think they have sometimes wrong expectation of what they need to do, and sometimes they don't know what their learning style is.
Okay.
Because not everyone is visual. And you have to figure out which way your student learns the best. Because you want to make them successful. So my plan would be simple things like try to read the story, then listen to it. Instead of just listening to the story. If you really, the same with if they have problem to learn certain grammatical structures is, okay, create yourself a table. So that's what I mean with small action. My plans would be very small.
Right.
Because the problems are small.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you to go, and maybe you've done this already, but research other people and other companies that teach a language like yours, and see if you can see from their websites if they are talking about a problem. So there's a company in Ottawa that teaches, I think it's called Fast French Easy, or Easy Fast French or something, okay? The problem is that people think it takes so long. So they're addressing that fast part, okay? So the problem, people think it's going to take too long. They're taking care of that problem. So that's why it's important to understand what is the problem that you think most of your best clients have.
Of my best clients, they are too hard on themselves.
So are they thinking it's going to, yeah, they are, that's through the process. But what is keeping them from learning German? They're going to think it's too hard. What is it?
They're setting themselves up for failure because they think they should be able to speak it faster. But it is a process. You start with baby steps. At the beginning, especially, it takes a longer time. Once you have the hang of it, then you progress faster.
Okay, so maybe the big problem that you address is that they think it's going to be easy and fast, or they think they'll be able to just jump in and be able to speak German quickly. Whereas what you do is you teach them a step-by-step process.
Yep.
Okay, so your plan is a step-by-step process. Okay, cool. Anybody else, questions? Post-link comments. So we need to have those three things: the problem, your plan, and the results, in order to create this one-liner, or what I call a Twitter pitch. Okay. If you want, page 19, we start talking about it, and you can read there. And I've given you several examples. And where it says ... for instance, it's continued in the next part. Okay, so it's got the problem, the plan, and the result. So that'll give you an example. So let's see if I can find one here. So the problem. Pet owners are concerned about what their pets are actually eating. That's the problem they've identified. Okay. The plan. So we source our food from trusted local vendors. That's their plan. The results, which ensures your pet stays happy and healthy. Pretty straightforward. Pet owners are concerned about what their pets are really eating, so we source our food from trusted local vendors, which ensures your pet stays healthy. There's another one. Nobody likes to haggle with a car salesman. I think this is actually CarMax in the States. Nobody likes to haggle with a car salesman, so we removed the salesman entirely. You can choose and test drive a car hassle-free. Here's the result. So you have peace of mind, so you have a peaceful experience getting the car you want. The result. Yeah. Amy, I don't mean that you actually use it in Twitter. The reason I call it a Twitter pitch is it's short. So 140 characters. The idea is to keep it to one sentence if you can. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't explain that very well. All right. So those are the 3 parts. Anybody have questions about that? So you're going to post those in the Facebook, and next week we're going to do a round table. We're going to do hot seat. We're going to work on it so that everybody leaves pretty much with a good draft. Okay? All right, so I'm going to unmute all. Okay, we're a little after 8 o'clock. Anything else that anybody wants to ask? What's going on?
Diana, could you post a photo of the board behind you on the group? I'm very blind and I cannot read it.
Oh, sure. I'm actually working to have my VA created into a graphic.
Oh, cool.
Because basically it's about, the first part is in a big sense, it would be about your positioning, your brand positioning, okay? And then the rest is really what I would call your sales funnel or your marketing funnel. So it's basically broken into 2 parts. We are not, and if we, you know, if this was a month course, up here we would also have, you know, what is the core offering? We don't have time for that, so, okay.
Thank you.
So is this for Thursday?
Thursday, you're going to have the problem, the plan, and the result for Thursday.
Okay, so the homework is for Thursday.
Yes, ma'am. We had other things to do.
And should we all send you the pages we filled out about our profile here?
If you would like, sure. It would be helpful if I have them before we do our, especially before our hour long. It might help before the 15 minutes, but the 15 minutes is really going to be about, it's going to be about marketing, and it's basically a scorecard. I'm working on creating a scorecard, so, okay. Anything else? We're good?
So the Facebook page is just for us, so no one else can join, right?
Correct. You have to apply to get in. There's only us in there, so it's a great place to practice Facebook Live. You know, feel safe, whatever you post in there. You know, when we get to creating our sentence, our Twitter pitch, you know, I'm going to ask that people post their Twitter pitch, and then other people comment. Do you understand? Or maybe how we could tighten it up? Because when everybody like this comes together, it is so helpful. It is so helpful. It is the synergy of the mastery of the minds.
Synergy of the mastery of the mind.
That's a lot of yes, Jacqueline?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that one. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, if that's it, everybody, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Really, really appreciate that you shifted times. I could not have done it at 4 o'clock. I was fried. So thank you so much. All right, see you later. Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.